Hi folks, and welcome back to Vigilance Talk. For this video, I wanted to just do a quick review on this book I picked up on eBay. It's the SAS Survival Handbook, hence the title here. I was looking through eBay and I wanted to pick up a solid survival handbook, and I came across this one right here, and I realized, hence the million copy worldwide bestseller, that it is definitely one of the more popular handbooks out there. And I decided to go ahead and pick it up, and I gotta say, I'm not disappointed with it at all. It's got a lot of good information, a lot of good points that it touches on. It's actually, the author is John Wiseman, who's a former member in the British SAS. And let's get into him for a moment, just to kind of give you some background. He, as I said, was in the British Special Air Service for 26 years roughly, and he joined at the age of 18 in 1959, and he ended up serving for, again, 26 years. And when he left, he actually published this book in 1986, and since then he has really just taken off as a solid survival consultant, and he really knows his stuff, and it really shows when you're reading this book just how knowledgeable this person is. He's even got on the survival training cast of the 1990 film Memphis Belle, which is really interesting. He was also an instructor for the selection/training phase of the show Castaway 2000, which I believe was aired on BBC. He's also a member of the instructional team at True Way Survival School. So he definitely has a lot of knowledge, and people definitely look to him for information regarding survival. He's also written other books, by my understanding, such as the SAS Urban Survival Handbook, the SAS Self-Defense Handbook on Unarmed Combat Techniques. So definitely, check out what he has to offer. Now let's get into the book itself. Let me just open it up here. So here's the table of contents. We have, your essentials, strategy, food, such as hunting and gathering and so on, campcraft, health, when you're on the move, reading the signs. I believe these are reading the stars, basically. Disasters, which is becoming ever so common with tsunamis and earthquakes. I'm sure many of you preppers know that earthquakes seem to be on the rise. So he's got a lot of good stuff here, and I think we should just briefly go over one of the chapters quickly. That's essentials, to kind of give you an idea of the content that he has provided in this book. Now, getting into the chapter 1, the essentials, he really kind of wants to prepare the reader for how to be a survivor, or preparing yourself to be a survivor, I should say. He gets into being prepared, doing your research, doing planning, the equipment you'll need. And I really like how he's added this survival kit and survival pouch that he kind of puts together for you, if you will, as well as knives, when disaster occurs, finding water, salt, all these things that really are the essentials. Let's dive in. So to get into the first piece of the chapter, he gets into the main elements of survival, which is food, fire, shelter, water, navigation, and medicine. And he puts these in an order of priority using the acronym PLAN, which P stands for protection, L for location, A for acquisition, and N for navigation. This is obviously very helpful. It helps you remember all these essentials and to keep them all in mind. The thing he emphasizes, which is very important, is medical. You must become your own doctor and carefully monitor yourself at all times, which I believe is extremely true, no doubt. Along with planning, he gets into equipment such as clothing, and let's see what he's got here, sleeping bags, packs, and he gets into a pretty good amount of detail of what you'll need and how much you'll need of it, stowing kits, GPS, radios, and so on. I really like how he adds in these pointers, if you will. In this case, he's just saying plan for the worst possible scenario, and down here he's asking a question. I think it really kind of engages the reader and emphasizes certain points. Now here he's actually giving a list of items to put into your survival kit or perhaps a bug out bag of some kind. This is really useful, especially for new preppers out there. Now in this portion he gets into knives and choosing a knife, and he gets into folding knives, sharpening a knife. These are, some very useful points, and just something to be aware of in this chapter. He also gets into things like facing a disaster, and he emphasizes certain points on how you cope with certain survival stresses in a survival scenario. And he also gets into finding water and water loss, and how much the average person will lose in water per day. This is just really very useful information. I really like the fact that he uses diagrams as well to kind of show the reader and what's going on, how to put these things together, and it helps to engage the reader as well if you just have some extra time and you want to sit back and read this. Definitely good. In total is over 570 pages long, and I don't expect the average person to read all of it front to back. However, I will highly recommend that you at least look over it and get into certain chapters that may be important. I really think chapter 1 obviously is the most important because that's your essentials. Definitely look over it if you can't read it front to back. So that way, if a survival situation occurs, you're not, busy with basically your face in this book while a survival situation is going on. Although there's a lot of techniques that he gives you that you can do on the fly if you need to, which is great. Again, just highly recommended book. I would recommend picking it up. It's about, I want to say about $10 to $15 total. I picked it up for a little over 10. I would look online for the prices. Anyways, folks, if you liked what you see and what you heard, feel free to like this video and subscribe to my channel. Thank you.